Breaking news, this just in. A dramatic clip of a mother and her young pregnant daughter is going viral today. Let's have a look.
Mom, I'm sorry. I'm pregnant.
What? This is why you should have been educated on safe sex. No, I wasn't taught it at school.
Good evening and welcome to Teen Health Today. I'm Mia Vicente.
And I'm Luna Ortiz. Tonight, we're talking about a big question that affects teens across the country. What kind of sex education actually works?
That's right. A study by researcher Pamela Collier and her team looked at how different types of sex education, abstinence only versus comprehensive, affect when teens start having sex and when they become pregnant.
The researchers analyzed data from over 1,700 teens nationwide. The first asked whether respondents before the age of 18 years old ever received any formal instruction at school, church, a community center, or some other place about how to say no to sex.
A follow-up question they asked about the same receiving instruction about methods of birth control. Individuals who reported birth control education in addition to education emphasizing saying no to sex were classified as having participated in comprehensive sex education.
Their findings: teens who have received comprehensive sex education that includes both abstinence and contraception were less likely to get pregnant.
Meanwhile, those who only had abstinence-only education didn't show lower pregnancy rates and were not more likely to have sex.
So what does this mean for schools and students? Coming up, we'll break down why comprehensive sex education might be the smarter and safer choice.
Good evening. You guys are here with Yolanda Bryce tonight. We're diving into the topic of sex education in American schools.
Adriana Morin here. A recent review looked at abstinence-only programs which teach teens to wait until marriage before having sex. These programs have been widely funded in the U.S. And what does the research actually say about their effectiveness?
According to the study, abstinence-only programs have not been effective in delaying sexual activities or reducing teen pregnancies. Many teens still become sexually active before marriage, which the programs don't adequately address.
The research also highlights another concern. These programs have often leave out important information about contraception, safe sex, and healthy relationships. The research also highlights another concern. These programs have often leave out important information about contraception, safe sex, and healthy relationships. Some programs even provide medically inaccurate information.
Experts say this approach can mislead students and leave them unprepared to make safe choices. Instead, comprehensive sex education, which teaches about abstinence and safe, informed decision making, is shown to be more effective.
Comprehensive programs provide teens with the tools they need to understand consent, use contraception correctly, and make choices that are right for them.
The takeaway: while abstinence can be a healthy choice, relying on abstinence-only education doesn't give students the full picture. Comprehensive education helps teens stay safe, informed, and prepared for the future.
That's the latest on teen sex education, and the research says about programs that really work.
Today, our team is out on the street to find out just what the Treasure Coast thinks of this phenomenon.
Hi, I'm Mia Vicente, and I'm here with Sarai Torres, and today we're here to talk about sex education in schools.
Do you think that teaching teenagers about birth control encourages or prevents sexual activity, and why?
I feel like it probably encourage teens to continue because they know that there is something to prevent a child possibly coming at some point. So then that just makes them want to do it more and have like an excuse, like, oh, we're good. Just continue.
And that because now they have that education on it.
Yeah.
Okay. And if schools only taught don't have sex until marriage, how do you think that would affect teen pregnancy rates? Do you think it would lower, higher it, or leave it unaffected?
I feel like it'll probably stay unaffected unless for like the slightest occasion, because a lot of teens, especially nowadays, they're very rebellious, and no matter what you tell them,
They're gonna do it anyways, right?
Just to spite you.
So, all in all, it's not very effective at all.
Not at all.
Didn't think so. And how old do you think students should be when they start receiving sex education in school?
I think possibly like end of like 8th grade, beginning of high school, maybe mid high school, so like around like the 14 to like 18 age gap.
18. Okay. And what do you think that is? What do you think that is?
Because that's especially when everybody's hitting like puberty and wanting to get like active. And it's a big rage that it really shouldn't be.
Yeah, I get it. And last question, do you feel comfortable discussing topics like birth control, STD prevention, or sexual health in public conversations or classrooms? Why or why not?
For the topic of classrooms, I would probably say if it was like private groups, like the girls with the girls and the guys with the guys, then yes. But if it's not, then I feel like the guys will start looking at the girls like, ooh, and that should not be happening.
Right.
So I think if it's the genders are separated and you can have like an actual talk to them, then yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Do you think schools are currently providing enough accurate information about sexual health?
I think the main responsibility is not from the school, it's from the family, from the parents. It's our responsibility to teach our children, talk to them about sex, the secure sex, the sex life, the consequence, the prevent the pregnancy. So I don't know if the school teaches our child, accurate or not. So, but I think that I have like parents teach my daughter or my children everything about sex correctly.
Do you think teaching teenagers about birth control encourages or prevents sexual activity, and why?
It's encouraging teenagers to have sex because this method will make them feel free from the fear of having unwanted children, and creating implication in their health from using this method from early age.
Do you believe students should learn about contraception and STD prevention in school, or should that be left to parents?
See, that's a tough one because I know a lot of parents are going to really hate the idea of them learning that in school. Honestly, I think if they learn about it, they should wait until high school. If the school does decide to teach them, otherwise, it should be left to parents.
Do you think schools are currently providing enough accurate information about sexual health?
Hey. Probably not.
Did you speak with Carmen about social training?
Do you think schools are currently providing enough accurate information about sexual health?
No, I don't think so.
Why is that?
Because when you look at the whole country across the board, many states have different sorts of standards of what they can teach and what they're allowed to teach and what they do teach. And so the standards are different all across the country than what's taught in New York. I would say in states that are typically in the South, they're probably going to be less educated.
If you could change one thing about sex education, about how sex education is taught today, what would it be?
See, I would give abstinence as an option, but I would just, really gotta show people that, there's what the negative outcomes can be. If they choose to, enjoy or not enjoy, but choose to conduct that sort of behavior. So there's always positives and negatives, but I guess we should really harp more on the negatives because, especially as teenagers, they don't know what they're doing many times, and everyone has something against kids having kids. Kids shouldn't be having kids. should be having them at the right age. But I think that teaching them like proper prophylactics, how to use condoms, you might prevent a lot of unnecessary teen pregnancy. Okay. Sorry if I went off on a tangent.
No, you're fine. Do you feel comfortable discussing topics like birth control or sexual health in public conversations or in the classroom?
Oh, should it be either or? You're trying to say? I think it should be both.
No.
Oh.
Let me rephrase it.
Yeah.
Would you feel more comfortable talking about the subject of birth control and sexual health in like a regular conversation of a daily life, like a day-to-day regular conversation, or just something that should be like talked about in the classroom?
God. I guess I'd be more comfortable. Honestly, I'm more comfortable like one-on-one talking to somebody one-on-one about it, because I feel like, especially like in a classroom, like with groups of people, you sort of have like groupthink, and sort of like people are always going to wonder what their friends and like what everyone else is going to think and what they're going to say, and they're going to wonder how they're going to be judged on what they say. But if it's a one-on-one conversation, many times, if a person feels comfortable, they're going to say what they want to say, and if they don't fear no judgment.
I just have a few questions for you about how you feel about absentee versus comprehensive sex education.
Okay.
Do you think teaching teenagers about birth control encourage or prevent sexual activities?
I think it prevents it.
Why is that?
Because if you're learning about, if you have the option to get birth control, then you're not going to just fucking anybody. If you're learning about, just about anybody, if you're on birth control, and that's what I think. That's my personal opinion.
If schools only taught don't have sex until marriage, do you think that would lower teen pregnancy?
No, because teens are going to do whatever they want to do anyways. I think it would want to do it more because you're telling them that they can't do it until they're married, and some people just don't want to be married even at that age.
How old do you think students should be when they start learning about sex education?
I'd say when they first get their periods for girls. For boys, I want to say maybe 12, 13 years old, because that's when their hormones start to kick in.
Do you believe students should learn about contraceptions and STD prevention in school, or should that be taught by their parents?
That should be in school. I think if they learn it in school, they're learning a more grounded than just, stay away from, just think about these STDs. You're going to give them like all of them at once in school so that they have a more broader idea of what to look for when it does happen.
Do you think schools are currently providing enough accurate information about sex education?
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know. I've been out of school for 10 years. I don't know what that sex education looks like when I was in school.
And action.
Bye!